Okie dokies. Why, you think I'm long-winded or something? Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath. Jai Baladev, Jai Subhadra, Jai Baladev, Jai Subhadra. Jai Baladev, Jai Subhadra, Jai Baladev, Jai Subhadra. Jagannatha Swami Nayana Patagami, Nayana Patagami Bhavatame. Jagannatha Swami Nayana Patagami, Nayana Patagami Bhavatame. Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath. Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ke, Shri Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra ji ke, Grantaraj Shri Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ke, srimadbhagavatam ke, Samaveda Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ke, Shri Rathayatra Maha Utsava ke, Gaur Premanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shishi Guru and Gauranga. Glories to Srila Prabhupada. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhatali Shrimati Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Gauracharane Devashish Vishjadestane. So, little different this morning. We won't be chanting a verse together. I hope you won't mind. Time is very quick. And we're going to try and glorify Lord Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra, Sudarshan Chakra, Lord Chaitanya, Rathayatra, etc. That's a lot to squeeze in 35 minutes. To begin with, prayers to Lord Jagannath, his brother and sister, and his eternal servant, Sudarshan. I'll skip the Sanskrit. O God of gods, O Jagannath, Lord of the universe, please destroy this great distress that has overcome me. O lotus-eyed one, please deliver this fallen soul from the ocean of material existence. I offer my obeisances unto you, the support of the universe. To you, the very soul of the universe, I humbly bow. You're situated above the three material qualities and the impersonal Brahman as well. Yet you are decorated with wonderful transcendental qualities. To you I offer my respectful obeisances. O you who are an ocean of nectarian compassion, and whose abode is most attractive, I offer my obeisances unto you again and again. You are the sole uplifter and deliverer of the fallen souls, but how you do this no one can understand. O ocean of mercy, I offer you my respectful obeisances. O Lord Jagannath, please rescue me. O friend of the fallen, I offer my obeisances unto you. Please deliver me from this vast material ocean. Obtaining your lotus feet, I will become supremely happy. Now to Lord Balaram. Obeisances to you, O holder of the plow. Obeisances to you, O wielder of the mace. Obeisances to you, O beloved of Revati. Obeisances to you who are very kind to your devotees. I offer my respectful obeisances unto Lord Balaram, the best of the strong and the support of the earth. Obeisances unto you, O enemy of Pralamba. Please deliver me, O elder brother of Krishna. Now to Srimati Subhadra Devi. O Devi, you are the Lord Vishnu's Maya, and as such you cause the bewilderment of all moving and non-moving living entities in the universe. Situated in the lotus seat of your heart is great loving devotion to Lord Vishnu. All glories to you, the bestower of bhakti. You are famous as the supreme controller. All glories to you, Subhadra Devi, the giver of auspiciousness to one and all. And to Sudarshan. O Sudarshan, your great effulgence is as brilliant as millions of suns. You dispel the darkness of ignorance and thus reveal the path to the eternal world of Vaikuntha. I offer my obeisances unto the brightly shining Sudarshan Chakra, which never fails to offer all protection to the Vaishnavas. I humbly bow before Lord Vishnu's weapon of irresistible strength. Shri Jagannath Swami ki. Before I say anything, because I have a false ego the size of SanDiego County, a life that's very sinful and full of offenses, I'm hoping that you would pray with me that we can get a little mercy to hear and chant the glories of Jagannath Gauranga and Bhakti Devi. Could we chant together, please? Om Jnanatimirandasya Gnanjana Salakaya Chakshun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadandikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shyuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raganatan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shiva Shakan Vitamscha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Vrindavanishwari Vrishabhana Sutta Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Namahom Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharne Nivishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarne Vanchakopatrubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So thank you for the opportunity to try and say something. Appreciate it, Balaram Prabhu and all my other friends and Prabhus. First day we come to Krishna consciousness. The very first day we hear the essence of our Siddhanta. Everyone walks through the door, they'll hear, you're not this body, you're an eternal spirit soul. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And we have an eternal relationship with Him. And that relationship consists of loving devotional service to Him. If we will chant, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, pleasing Him and His devotees will go back home, back to Godhead. These three things we hear on the very first day, and that's because they are the most important things in the Siddhanta of Lord Chaitanya's teachings. Everything else is just further expansion and manifestation of the glories of that Sambandha, Abhideya, and Prayojana Tattvas. So here we're going to talk about Lord Jagannath and Rath Yatra. Lord Jagannath is Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Jagannath Puri is His eternal Dham. It's not of this material world. When this material universe gets destroyed, it is ever present. In one sense, it's non-different, as Krishna is non-different from Jagannath. Jagannath Puri is non-different from Vrindavan. It's a manifestation of Dwarka, actually. Represents Dwarka, the Aishvarya Dham of the Lord. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is also Krishna. And as we hear from our acharyas, Navadvip Dham is non-different from Vrindavan, Navadvip Dham is non-different from Jagannath Puri. All of these three aspects of the divine Supreme Personality of Godhead and His eternal abodes are Chintya Beta Beta Tattva. They're one and the same with variety. And Lord Jagannath, quite the form. As Shyamasundar Prabhu said, you have to understand the context of when Krishna consciousness movement was being started, at least in the West Coast. It was nothing but hippies, practically speaking, with rare exception. And they were rejecting everything they'd heard, everything they'd been taught, seeing through it. Material existence is a vast ocean of suffering. There has to be something more. And only when the consciousness of the youth was fully open to receiving something higher could they accept that this Lord Jagannath, with full-blown lotus eyes and his arms somewhat retracted within his body, along with his brother, and said, "This is God." As Shyamasundar Prabhu says, "Oh, cool. At least we know what he looks like." No questions. Simple, pure faith. That was the good fortune that was spread throughout the youth of the time. So now here we are, Lord Jagannath. He appeared by the mercy of Indradumya Maharaj. We've heard the pastime. Dharmasetu, Dravida Prabhu might remember when, what was her name? Rata Dasi? Lochan's daughter? Rasa Priya did the Jagannath, and it was a wonderful pastime, getting to meditate upon and play the parts of these exalted souls. So in, what was it? Who's the Swayambhuva Manu? First Manu of the 14 Manus of the day of Brahma. That's when Indradumya, due to his devotion and having performed 1,000 the horse sacrifices, Rajasuyas. No, I'm going to say horse sacrifices. What do you call those? Is it? Okay. 1,000 of them. And by his bhakti, Lord Jagannath agreed to appear. So that was a long, long time ago. And many millions of years later, in the second Manu, I guess we would say it was Sarochana. And that's when the Rath Yatra procession began. So these things are truly ancient. Millions and millions and millions of years ago, these events took place. And in Jagannath Puri, every year it goes on. Over 1 million people come into the small town of Jagannath Puri to see Lord Jagannath come and be brought in the three chariots, Jagannath, Balaram, Subhadra, and go down to the Gundicha temple, stay there for a week, and then come back. Prior to that, just like you had your Snan Yatra, that's actually the day that Snan Yatra is performed in Jagannath Puri. That's the actual Titi or anniversary of when Lord Jagannath appeared to Indradumya Swami. And I haven't been there during Rath Yatra festival in Puri. I'd been there for the Snan Yatra. It's quite the event all day long. Everybody, all the local Hindus or visiting Hindus, are thousands and thousands of people go up and they get to bathe the deities, just like sometimes the Bajaris allow the devotees to bathe. So it goes on, and in the evening there's a special darshan where Lord Jagannath and Balaram look like elephants. Big ears and a big trunk and tusk, and I had no idea it was coming, and when the evening darshan came, it was like, and Lady Subhadra in the middle, covered by lotus flowers. From a block away across the street on a hotel roof, it looked like she was one big sunflower or something. Those baby pictures with, children in the flowers. So I had no clue what in the heck was going on. So there's two stories. Some say that Krishna and Balaram one time decorated themselves as elephants to give pleasure to the gopis. And more people will say that one time a devotee of Ganesh came from South India and had darshan of Lord Jagannath. And he understood Ganesh was a devotee of the Supreme Lord Vishnu, and that within the Lord reside all demigods, from him all demigods emanate, etc. And when he came and had darshan of Jagannath, he was very disappointed that he couldn't see his Lord, Ganesh, his worshipful deity, worshipping as a devotee of Krishna, of Vishnu. And Jagannath is so merciful. I mean, sometimes we don't really put our intelligence towards trying to comprehend how merciful Lord Jagannath is. To say an ocean of mercy is like an understatement. His compassion and mercy upon the fallen is infinite. So Lord Jagannath and Balaram, they pleased this devotee by manifesting the elephant darshan. Really wonderful thing. It's also said when this Rath Yatra ceremony started that there was a king named Pandu Vijay down in South India. And I put a sentence before introducing that. I should have said, prior to the Rath Yatra ceremony taking place, as a tradition, there was a king, Pandu Vijay, and he came to Jagannath Puri, and he basically liberated Lord Jagannath's worship from that of the Buddhist. That's why if you'll listen to the TV commentary when they show every year on the Rath Yatra, etc., you'll hear these commentators. They don't really know what's going on, but sometimes they'll say, some worship Jagannath as Buddha. And I always wondered, how in the heck do you get that? But the story is that the Buddhists, his teachings went far and wide before Shankaracharya drove him out of India. And so the king, Pandu Vijay, he came and he liberated Orissa and Jagannath Puri and reestablished Jagannath as the understanding reestablished that he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead and worshiping as such. And that ceremony, when they bring Lord Jagannath out with the gait of an elephant, and they have pillows that they put under it in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, it's described sometimes when landing on the pillows they would pop, boom, cotton flying everywhere. I mean, Lord Jagannath is 7 feet tall, and it takes like 10 men to pick him up and assist him in walking to his cart, to his chariot. So anyway, that Pandu Vijay ceremony is named after the king who drove the Buddhist away, and he's the one who instituted the first Rath Yatra. And there's also a description that in the scriptures that Prahlad Maharaj one time did a Rath Yatra. He got a chariot, and he put Mahavishnu on the chariot, and the demigods came and they helped Prahlad pull the chariot. And that's one way of one of the other ways in which Rath Yatra has been celebrated. Yeah, a lot of nectar. I have a magazine here about Rath Yatra Rahasya Tattva, which of course is, Rahasya means mysterious or the hidden truth of Rath Yatra. And for us Gaudiya Vaishnavas, we know the truth, but the reality of it is nobody knew the true significance of Rath Yatra before Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came and shared with the world Krishna Prem, Vraja Bhakti. And so first we'll describe Krishna Lila. Krishna had lived in Dwarka for many decades. He was a great-grandfather at the time, and a solar eclipse was taking place, and he and the Yadus, the Vrishnis, they all decided, let's go to Kurukshetra. It's a holy place, and there we'll bathe, we'll perform sacrifice, we'll give in charity, etc., and have all sinful, be freed of so many sinful reactions, and we'll please the Lord in this way. So they all went, Krishna and his family and friends, citizens of Dwarka, and the Vrajvasis also came. Having heard that Krishna had gone to Kurukshetra, they couldn't contain themselves. They had been without the company of Krishna for decades. He's now a great-grandfather, and if I'm not mistaken, he left Vrindavan when he was 11 years old. Do you remember from Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary? He was 11 years old. They hadn't seen him for 60, 70 years at least. And the only way they were able to survive was that they were living on the promise Krishna gave them that I will return soon. Their ecstasy of love would have surely brought about their giving up this body if they hadn't had that hope against hope of Krishna saying, I'm coming back. One time Srimati Radharani sent a message to Dwarka saying, I'm like a kept animal and I'm suffering. I'm in a blazing fire of separation and I beg to be released from it. if I cannot serve you with this body, I have no need of it. It's useless. I don't want it. The pain of separation from you, it is worse than the poison, the ocean of poison that Lord Shiva drank. It's more painful than being in a blazing fire. They say that's the most painful way of giving up the body, being burnt. And anyway, she was expressing her ecstatic love, in essence pleading, please come back. So the inhabitants of Vrindavan came to Kurukshetra and they met with Krishna and Balaram and Devaki, Vasudeva, all their friends. And, they were overjoyed to see their friends. And once Yasoda and Nanda Maharaj saw Krishna and Balaram, that was it. They were just fully fixated upon them. Mother Yasoda took both Krishna and Balaram on her lap, crying tears of love, happiness, being reunited with her sons. Milk flowing from her breast, and motherly affection for her sons. And at that point, her consciousness basically became one with Krishna. Devaki was seeing her in a trance, and she tried saying, "Oh, we're so fortunate you're here. Please forgive us. We've neglected you. When we were in prison, you took our sons, Rohini and my son. You looked after them as if they were your very own. Saintly people are like that. They'll care for others' children just as much as they would." Yasoda Devi didn't hear a single word. She was just manmana bhava madbhakto. She was fully absorbed in her love, in her concentration, in her ecstasy of Krishna and Balaram. And so Mother Rohini said, "Come on, why don't we leave them to their own? We have other guests to attend to, other people to greet and see." So they left. And then after some time, Krishna noticed the gopis off in a corner, standing shyly looking, sidelong glances, and he realized, oh my goodness, my dearmost devotees, they can't wait to see me. It looks as if they'll give up their body right now if they have to wait any longer. So he excused himself from Mother Yasoda, Nanda Maharaj. And Balaram excused himself, being the gentleman that he is, not wanting to interfere with the loving reciprocation between Krishna and his most beloved gopis. And they got to see each other. And Krishna tried making light of the situation. He says, "It's been so long since I've seen you, but do you hold it against me?" And he kind of laughed, said, "It's not really my fault. I left to protect you. And then so many demons, one after another, and their armies came, and I had to kill them. Otherwise, my family in Dwarka would have been killed. And, providence, it's supreme. Even though I wanted to see you, I prayed to Narayan every day, please sustain them. Please, please let me soon come to be with them. But what can I say? It wasn't meant to be." And he kind of laughed and tried making light of it. "But do you hate me? Do you hold it against me?" And the gopis, we have to understand, Lord Chaitanya, there's one verse, I forget who it's by, but it says the main teachings of Lord Chaitanya. Krishna, the son of Mother Yasoda, is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Vrindavan is his eternal abode and is just as worshipable as he is. The gopis are the topmost lovers and devotees, servants of the Lord. srimadbhagavatam is the supreme evidence of all of this. And so the gopis, I referred to that because the gopis are the topmost devotees. And their love is completely selfless. There is a prayer that Lord Chaitanya, looks like I'm going to jump around a little bit, but there's a prayer by Lord Jagannath, by Lord Chaitanya that he speaks in his Rath Yatra procession while chanting and dancing. And it's something that the gopis said to Krishna, indicating how surrendered they were to the Lord. The gopis spoke thus, "Dear Lord, whose navel is just like a lotus flower, your lotus feet are the only shelter for those who have fallen to the deep well of material existence. Your feet are worshipped and meditated upon by great mystic yogis and highly learned philosophers. We wish that these lotus feet may also be awakened within our hearts, although we are only ordinary persons engaged in household affairs." Now they are anything but ordinary, and their household affairs are % centered around Krishna. Nothing but. Any and all activities they do is simply for the pleasure of Krishna. And they sustained their life while Krishna was in Dwarka, away from Vrindavan, simply by remembering the same activities they did when he was present with them. And this example of their spotless, unalloyed love for Krishna is the highest ideal for Gaudiya Vaishnavas. Krishna, he says in the 10th canto, upon first meeting him, he says that anyone who has devotion for me, they will get liberated, they will get eternal life. But you, my dear gopis, you have such affection for me that I am purchased by you. And in the purport it's explained that he had to come see them. Once he noticed them, he was drawn by force to them. And just as they were always thinking of him, he was always thinking of them. He's, what is it? Rasa, Akila, Amrita, the source of all rasa, all relationships, all pleasure for everyone. And he satisfied completely the queens of Dwarka, his father, his mother, his children, his grandchildren, all the citizens. But within his heart, he secretly yearned to be in the company of and to receive the service and to offer his service, loving affection in return to the Brajvasis. And Vasudeva and Devaki and everybody of Dwarka knew that that was his heartfelt desire. And it's one of the reasons why they kept him in Dwarka for such a very long time. Because if he ever went back to Vrindavan, they thought for sure he'd never come back to us. The love of Mother Yasoda, Devaki, she thinks, I don't even hold a pinch of the love she has for Krishna. Not even a pinch. And that's because her love is tinged with the realization, the understanding that he's God. The awe and reverence is there. And it is often impeding the spontaneous motherly affection. Mother Yasoda, not at all. She doesn't care if Lord Brahma himself comes and tells her, holy smokes, Krishna's God. Uddhava came and did the same. Nanda Maharaj said, you're such a foolish young boy. You think Krishna's God? He steals butter from our neighbors. He's a thief. He lies. He's so mischievous. If we don't feed him, he cries. He's hungry. He needs our help, our protection, our guidance, our raising of him. That was unalloyed and spotless affection for them. So anyway, the gopis are saying we're bound up in household life, but it was simply Krishna consciousness. Nothing but the highest level of Krishna consciousness. And this separation that they experience from him is the gift of Krishna. Because only into his most exalted and closest, most surrendered devotees does he give the gift of this Vipralamba as he does to the Vrajvasis. Our line, starting with Madhavendra Puri, has this highest ideal and highest understanding. The other sampradayas, they don't have this. They don't understand it. There was one verse that Madhavendra Puri was chanting before he left. Oh, my dear Lord, how can I live without you? You've gone to Mathura. How can I sustain my life? In essence, since I'm not seeing it right here, he was yearning in separation, love and separation for Krishna. And that verse was spoken by Srimati Radharani herself and revealed to him. And he was the seed, the beginning of this Madhurya Ras, love in conjugal relationship, in the separation that goes hand in hand with any and all the Vrajvasis, but finding its pinnacle in the love and service of the gopis. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to experience that. and to share it, or give it freely, liberally, magnanimously to one and all who will accept it. This is the goal of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, to reawaken our love for Krishna. We should never lose sight of that. Everything we do, just like the gopis or the Vrajvasis, everything they did was to please Krishna. That should be our goal. But not only that, we want to please Krishna. The best way we can please Srila Prabhupada, our spiritual master, and Krishna is to reawaken our love for him. That's the goal of everything we do, beginning with chanting Hare Krishna. So this is what Lord Chaitanya came to taste, and it's what he came to freely give away. Internal and external reasons for manifesting. So the gopis got to hear some teaching on jnana yoga from the Lord. You should meditate upon me in the heart. You should understand I'm God. I'm non-different from all my energies, earth, water, fire, air, ether, the entire universe. How can you be separated from me if you realize I'm God? You know, they're going, please, could you spare us? In this verse, they're saying, we ask that you place your lotus feet upon our heart, but actually they don't want Krishna's lotus feet on their heart. They're way beyond that. That's the desire of the yogis. They want to simply hold the soft, butter soft lotus feet of Krishna upon their breast. They know this gives Krishna pleasure, to intimately serve him in a way that none other can. And so they didn't want to hear it. And, but Krishna, he satisfied them. The Vrajvasis got to stay for 3 months in Kurukshetra, associating with Krishna and Balaram. And every night Krishna would sneak off. They couldn't do Rasa Leela because it wasn't Vrindavan. Jagannath, as I said, is Krishna. And yet, there's a difference between Lord of Purushottam Dham or Dwarka Dham and Krishna of Vrindavan. It's one of mood. He manifests to some degree his opulence and his position as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whereas in Vrindavan the sweetness of the reciprocation completely covers that. It's the veil of Yogamaya, and only every once in a while is the curtain pulled back a little bit where the devotees will realize, oh my goodness, he is Narayan. He is God. But then as soon as that happens, curtain closes again and their spontaneous love for him completely absorbs him. So the sweetness of the reciprocation covers it. Even though it's present, more opulence in Vrindavan than Dwarka, more opulence in Dwarka than Vaikuntha. So anyway, they were satisfied to some extent, and finally they had to leave because Krishna said, you know, we're leaving. I can't go with you right now, but I promise, I give you my solemn word that I will be coming soon. And I don't think I have time to talk about how he did return to Vrindavan. But let's talk about Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Rath Yatra. Lord Chaitanya is Krishna, but he's come in the mood of Srimati Radharani, the mood and the external complexion of Srimati Radharani. Krishna, Lord Jagannath is Krishna, and he is always wanting the association of Srimati Radharani. He's with his queens in Dwarka, but he's always hankering. He's feeling the intense separation from Radha and the Vrajvasis. So when the two come together in Jagannath Puri, Jagannath is crying for Radha, and Krishna in the mood of Radha is crying for Krishna. This Jagannath Puri Dham is the abode where Lord Chaitanya got to fully satisfy his innermost desire to experience the love of Srimati Radharani, the qualities within Krishna that attracts her, and the happiness she feels in lovingly serving him. It was in Jagannath Puri he got to experience that. The madness of separation. 18 years he was absorbed in this Vipralamba bhav, simply crying for Krishna. Where's Krishna? Where's Krishna? Now when he would come in front of Jagannath, he wouldn't see who we see. He would see Tribhanga, Krishna, threefold bending form, playing his flute with the peacock feather. And he would be happy in this way. Just as It said when Krishna saw Mother Yasoda, he instantly, in Kurukshetra, he instantly transformed into a cowherd boy, completely, so that her love would be unimpeded by the royal paraphernalia, etc. And to some extent, same for the gopis. But they couldn't please Krishna, and they knew Krishna wasn't fully satisfied in Kurukshetra or Dwarka. Selflessly, they were wanting to bring him to Vrindavan so that they could please him. They knew only in Govardhan Hill, by the bank of the river Jamuna, dressed as a cowherd boy, tending his cows, with his family and friends would he be truly happy, completely happy. They knew this, and this is why they wanted him to come back. So, anyway, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Jagannath, they are with each other. But it's just like in Kurukshetra. They cannot fulfill their innermost desires. And in that form of separation, it is the highest and most intense. If my memory serves me correctly, it's Madan Vakya Mahabhava. Even though the union is there, they're together, but they're feeling as if they're 1,000 miles apart because they can't lovingly serve each other. Circumstances won't allow it. Bhakti Vinod Thakur in one prayer says, oh, just please give me the opportunity to render some intimate service to Srimati Radharani when she's in Kurukshetra, because that's when she is feeling the deepest depth of separation from her Lord. She's with him but can't serve him, not to his and hers heart's content. So anyway, that's the union and separation simultaneously of Jagannath and Lord Chaitanya. And the Rath Yatra, the specialness, the mystery of Rath Yatra is that Krishna is being dragged, being captured by Srimati Radharani and the Vrajvasis and being brought back to Vrindavan. The temple in Puri represents Dwarka, Gundicha temple represents Vrindavan. The gardens along the way remind Jagannath, remind Chaitanya of the forest groves of Vrindavan. And before he will go to Vrindavan, before Rath Yatra takes place, Lord Chaitanya engages in the cleansing of the Gundicha temple with all his devotees. This is such a significant pastime for us Gaudiya Vaishnavas. Because even though the Lord is within our heart, when our heart is dirty and is not completely cleansed, then we don't see, we don't recognize. It's as if he isn't there. And for him to reclaim his throne within our heart, we need to cleanse the heart. And so Lord Chaitanya, he had all the devotees get their brooms and sweep and get the water and wash it out and then do another thorough cleansing so that they could get every bit of speck of dust and anything that shouldn't be there, so it would be as cool and as clean as a spotless pure devotee's heart. All duplicity, crookedness, desire for material enjoyment, desire for material liberation, desire for name, fame, prestige, and adoration. The Lord didn't want any of that left in the temple, as we should desire to have none of it in our heart. And then when it was all done, he took his own personal cloth and just polished it for perfection. So that pastime is so very important. If we cleanse our heart, the Lord will reappear. After cleansing Gundicha Mandir, then Lord Chaitanya brings Jagannath to Vrindavan. And he spoke several verses that the gopis speak. He's singing. I hope I can see the one little 2-line verse that he would sing. But it was quite a mysterious verse that he was singing, because when people would hear him sing, they would think, this sounds like a mundane love song. You could say cinema song, as Srila Prabhupada did. Haribo Vaishnava, good to see you. He said, now I've gained the Lord of my life, in the absence of whom I was being burned by Cupid and was withering away. So he's bringing Lord Jagannath to Vrindavan, and he says so many prayers like that. For most people, my mind and heart, for most people, the mind and heart are one. But because my mind is never separated from Vrindavan, I consider my mind and Vrindavan to be one. My mind is already Vrindavan, and since you like Vrindavan, will you please place your lotus feet there? I would deem that your full mercy. This was a prayer that Srimati Radharani prayed to, the gopis prayed to Krishna. And Lord Chaitanya, in the mood of Radha, was saying the same prayers. They said, the inhabitants of Vrindavan do not want you dressed like a prince, nor do they want you to associate with great warriors in a different country. They cannot leave the land of Vrindavan, and without your presence, they're all dying. What's their condition to be? My dear Krishna, you're the life and soul of Vrindavan Dham. You're especially the life of Nanda Maharaj. You're the only opulence in the land of Vrindavan. You're very merciful. Please come and let them all live. Kindly keep your lotus feet again in Vrindavan. Srimati Radharani didn't even ask for her own benefit. She didn't even say, please come for me. She said, please come for your father, for your mother's sake, for your friends, for the other cowherd girls, for the sake of all the birds and beasts in Vrindavan, for the trees, for Govardhan, Jamuna. Everyone is pining away and practically dead. Please come and re-enliven them. Give them life again. So he was saying all these prayers, and he would have a competition with Lord Jagannath. He would dance in front of the Rath cart, and Lord Jagannath would come along. And sometimes testing Lord Krishna, he would go behind, slow down and go behind, and dance with the kirtan party behind the cart. And then Jagannath would stop, completely controlled by the love of Radha. And he wouldn't move forward. He would wait until Srimati Radharani, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came and started leading him on again. And this way, in the competition of Radha and Krishna, Srimati Radharani always wins. Krishna, she is the one who can truly say, Krishna is mine. We can say we are Krishna's, but she completely, and more so than anybody else, understands what love of Krishna is and what pure unalloyed service to Krishna is. In fact, without the mercy of Srimati Radharani, no one can understand or get the service of Krishna. And that service and that love is being offered by Krishna himself in the mood of Radharani as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And this festival of Rath Yatra that we're going to have tomorrow, we should meditate upon. This is actually Radha and the Vrajvasis bringing Krishna back to Vrindavan, where they can serve him to his heart's content. It's stated in the Nectar of Instruction that the essence of all instructions is to chant Hare Krishna and serve the Lord 24 hours a day, day and night, 24/7. And to do so, one should take shelter of a Vrajvasi. Srila Prabhupada is such a Vrajvasi. And our previous acharyas are Vrajvasis. All those who are mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam and the literatures of the Goswamis, they are Vrajvasis. And although it may be like at the top of this, Empire State Building for us, and may seem like such an impossibly long distance to traverse, to achieve, it isn't actually. It isn't. In one life, Srila Prabhupada can take us back to Godhead. For most of us, that means Bhoma Lila and being born in the village and the family of Krishna, and surrounded by the Vrajvasis, seeing nothing but and experiencing nothing but their example and their devotion. Then we can perfect our love for Krishna. We show our sincerity of purpose of wanting to eternally serve Krishna, wanting to reawaken our love for Krishna by serving his dearmost devotees. The most important thing in your life and my life is pleasing the pure devotees of Krishna. Pleasing Srila Prabhupada, pleasing his followers, pleasing the previous acharyas. If we put that in our mind first and foremost, then we will chant purely the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. If every day we're thinking, keeping the goal in mind, what Krishna consciousness is about, not just something we go through because that's what we do, that's who we are, not mindlessly or repetitively or due to habit, but conscientiously try to reawaken the desire to surrender to Krishna, to please Krishna, to even develop our love for Krishna. That desire should be the most important desire in our life. Perfection is when it's the only desire in our life. But at least for practicing devotees, put it first and foremost in your mind, your intelligence, in your heart. Srila Prabhupada has given us the process of chanting Hare Krishna and all the other activities that will purify our senses, our mind, our intelligence, our desire, so that we can chant and serve purely, selflessly, with no motive except to please Krishna. It's the mercy of Guru and Krishna that takes place. It's not by one's own endeavor alone. On our own, it's impossible. It's a fool's dream. People who think that by my austerities, by my knowledge, by my development of good qualities, etc., I'm going to capture Krishna and force my way through the gates of Vrindavan. Not a chance. It's only when we reawaken the desire within our heart to simply please Krishna and his devotees will he reciprocate accordingly. To the degree that we hold back, Krishna reciprocates. To the degree we're holding back, we don't want Krishna. We're hedging our bets. To that degree, the pure devotees don't give Krishna to us. They don't give us their blessings to achieve the unalloyed service of Krishna. It is a serious affair because it's so sublime. What's being offered, love of Krishna, is so sublime, and yet it's so simple. We just have to keep the right company, the right consciousness, and engage in the right activities of pleasing gurus, by following their instructions, which are non-different than the instructions of Krishna and Lord Chaitanya. So Krishna tells us how, Prabhupada tells us how we should chant Hare Krishna, in what mood we should have. We should feel helpless. If we understand we're not going to do it on our own, and only by the causeless, listen to that adjective, causeless mercy of Guru and Vaishnavas and the Lord, will we get our bhakti, our pure bhakti, our prema bhakti revealed once again? When we realize that, and that on our own we are so unqualified. What qualification do we have? What do we have to be proud of? We just constantly get in the way of the manifestation of the desire of the spiritual master, the empowerment of the spiritual master and the Lord to help others come to Krishna consciousness, to inspire others to selflessly serve the Lord and not feel discouraged or overcome by the weight of the responsibility of services to Krishna. And Lord knows there are many, but that's the test. To become a pure devotee, an exalted, liberated, pure devotee who has natural, spontaneous attraction, what to speak of ecstasy, what to speak of love for Krishna, you have to show your sincerity of purposeness, your seriousness. And many tests await the life of those who want such mercy. But the tests are nothing when we're absorbed in pleasing our spiritual master. Nothing. No instruction comes without the potential empowerment of the spiritual master. If you want it, it's yours for the taking. You just have to desire more than anything else. And when you have those types of thoughts and you begin to cultivate that within yourself, disqualification, yet I want the service. I want the association. Disqualified, never on my own able to become sufficiently qualified, only by the mercy of Vaishnavas and Guru, Vrajvasis, Bhakti Devi can I get it. When you feel like that, then one might start to cry, realizing, oh my God, how is this ever going to take place? In our teachings of the Sampradaya, Lord Chaitanya set the mood for 18 years plus crying for Krishna. And it wasn't just Lord Chaitanya, it wasn't just the Vrajvasis. Every one of the acharyas you see on the altar there, they all cried for Krishna. Before we are reunited with Krishna, we have to come to the realization that we're separated from Him. And that separation is intolerable. that this world and this life have nothing to offer outside of Krishna's service. When you begin to cultivate that internally, praying and begging for the mercy through the holy names, then reciprocation takes place. I could quote several pastimes of Srila Prabhupada showing how he cried for Krishna. Radha Damodar Mandir in the middle of the night, sweeping the samadhi in bhajan kutirs of Rupa Goswami, crying piteously, praying for the mercy of Rupa Goswami. Going to Shantipur once or twice a month for decades and chanting before Sri Advaita at the place where Chaitanya, Nityananda, and Advaita engaged in planning the spreading of the Krishna consciousness movement throughout the entire world, chanting and crying for the mercy of the Lord so that he could fulfill the desire of his spiritual master. Many a time crying because he realized, I have no devotion, I have no knowledge, but I have full faith in the holy names, and I've been given an impossible task, an impossible instruction by my spiritual master. I have to get your mercy to do so. This is the mood to cultivate Krishna consciousness, and this is the type of association we should aspire for. There are many advanced and pure devotees in our movement, and those who are understanding what gift is being offered, this is what they begin to cultivate, that they want spontaneity in Krishna consciousness. They want to get over the minds telling them, why would you surrender? Why would you work so hard for Krishna? Why would you undergo so many difficulties and disdain and lack of approval, etc., 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 etc.? Just sit back and relax a little. Or, chant Hare Krishna, but take it easy. What's the hurry? What's the rush? Maya, she doesn't let up in her service. She's serious as a heart attack, and we should be just as serious in trying to become Krishna conscious. If we maintain that and constantly meditate and act in that way, reciprocation from Guru and Vaishnavas and the Lord within the heart comes. And once we understand the first thing we hear when we walk in the door, we're not the body but spirit soul. The more we cultivate this and aspire for this, once that understanding is locked in, the advancement rate, the speed, what is it, metal to the pedal, pedal to the metal, it's just ever increasingly, exponentially, once we pass over that hump of holding back. And seeing ourselves, and holding back, and not understanding that we're nothing but an insignificant, tiny little servant of the servant of the servant of the Lord. Everyone is worshipable by us, because everyone is carrying the Lord in the heart, and everyone's a servant of the Lord. And it's our family business to assist the Srila Prabhupada and the previous acharyas and their followers in sharing that message with others. Empowerment comes when we cultivate that and take note of anyone who we come in contact with. That are we acting in a way that will encourage them, or just by non-engagement, in a sense, discouraging them from getting the opportunity of Krishna consciousness? This is Lord Chaitanya's movement. This is ISKCON. This is the gift, the family business that will give us this prema bhakti in the mood of the Vrajvasis. And that's what Rath Yatra is about, begging the Lord, please come enter into my heart. Some people criticize ISKCON because we don't have all the ISKCON Rath Yatras on the specific day that it has been for millions of years that takes place in Jagannath Puri. But it is stated that just like every day we should be asking for the Lord to come into our heart in such a way, Srila Prabhupada said, have Rath Yatra as many as you can. Spread this culture of Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada was always so grateful to anyone and everyone who came to Rath Yatra and partook or appreciated the Krishna consciousness movement to any extent. That's the mood of Jagannath and his devotees. They're simply grateful for any and all service rendered to the Lord and his devotees. So tomorrow, We'll have a chance to distribute books. We'll have a chance to distribute prasadam. We'll have a chance to chant sincerely the names of Krishna so that others can hear. It's said simply by seeing Lord Jagannath and simply by pulling on his ropes, one becomes liberated. At least the door is open. At least they're given the chance to have some eternal benefit put into their account. And if they take advantage of devotees' association, then they can keep going progressively in that path. And they can truly achieve what is true liberation, reinstatement in their constitutional position as the servant of Krishna. So in that way, in that mood, that note will end. If anybody would like to make any corrections or questions, yes.
So you said that Krishna left Vrindavan when he was 11 years old?
Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur does, yes.
So if Krishna left Vrindavan when he was in a pre-pubescent age, how did he have his conjugal rulers, like the Rasa and all that stuff?
Krishna, in whatever age he is, let's take it from the youngest ages. He has other quality. It's like, you see a child who begins reading at a super young age. That's not normal. This is a special child. So in the same way, the acharyas explain that no matter what age Krishna is, he has some of the qualities of the other ages also, older and younger. And the point you're bringing up is one of the arguments used by Shukadeva Goswami and our acharyas to explain to idiots, animal-like conditioned souls like we were, that this is not of the mundane realm. This is transcendental love, not lust. There's no lust in the spiritual world. There's no lust in the heart of Krishna or the gopis. That's of this garbage heap, the dump that's known as the material world. None of that enters in. So yes, he's young. He lifted the hill at 7 years old, and shortly thereafter he had the service that he reciprocated with in the gopis.